So I think Ty Simpson is a great fit for them. He's a 5-star coming out of high school, and he's only gotten better, and he's waited for his time. So I think it's good for Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer to at least have a pretty good idea who their starter will be walking into the season.
Some big news coming out from Tuscaloosa, at least according to offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb. Now, they haven't officially come out and said that Ty Simpson is going to be the starter, but he told reporters that if there was a game tomorrow, Ty Simpson would start at quarterback. David, like, at this point, why would you not just come out and say he's the starter then? I mean, we have.
If there was a football game tomorrow, Jay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why are we waiting? Like it's unless if he does something crazy during the summer, you'd lose the job anyway. You want to go into fall camp with a starter. I don't think he's going to compete even less. What do you think about Ty Simpson being named the starter? Is there a comparison? Because I got one in my mind to a player after watching him. What do you think for Alabama?
Here's my immediate thoughts in the aftermath of their spring game and the discussion we had on whether or not the quarterback who came with Coach DeBoer and Ryan Grubb from Washington to Tuscaloosa, if he would get some sort of favorable treatment because that's their guy, right? And I just said, hey, like, this is high-level college football. This is the highest level college football. Those guys are going to start the best quarterback. I don't know if that's going to be Ty Simpson at the end of the day. And remember, fall camp is going to determine the starting quarterback for a program much more than spring practice will. So we still have all of that to go, plus we have summer workouts and all that. But in the aftermath of this whole Nico Iamaleava situation and all these guys, and every 5-star in that class we talked about has transferred except for Arch Manning at Texas. I look at a guy like Ty Simpson who sat behind Jalen Monroe, who was biding his time. Clearly he has talent. He was a 5-star quarterback coming out as well, right? He's bided his time, and he's sitting there and he's ready. He said, this is my time to be the starting quarterback at Alabama. Clearly, he showed them something throughout spring practice and in the spring game this past weekend. So, look, I'm pulling for the kid, and I think that Coach DeBoer is going to start the best possible player to play quarterback at Alabama.
Blaine, it seems like Ty Simpson went out and took it, as we mentioned when we did our kind of preview of these spring quarterback battles, which there's a bunch across the country at some big-time brands. When I look at Ty Simpson, his gameplay and his style reminds me a little bit of John Parker Wilson. When I watch him.
He's a better runner, though.
I mean, I think John Parker was a little bit of an underrated runner with the ball. Like, he wasn't great or super elite. I don't think Ty's an elite runner of the ball. He's not close to what Milroe was when he was operating from an efficient level running the ball. But he's a good decision maker, right? It looks like he can throw to every single level. And he went out and took the job. But my part about naming the starter now is if you were still going to have this battle going on in fall camp, why not just come out and say, hey, look, it was great competition between both guys. They're still neck and neck. Fall camp's going to decide it. Ryan Grubb looked like pretty sure that Ty Simpson was the guy. For him to come out and say
do you think any of this has to do with Nico? Just kind of coming out and saying, well, he'd be our starter tomorrow just to make sure, like, look, you're our guy. We know this. We don't want anything bad to happen.
No,
you saw that around the nation.
No.
Quarterbacks got cuffed for a couple
because of what Cone said. He's bided his time so long for this moment, this opportunity. I don't think he would jump ship at this point. Now, I just think Ryan Grubb told the truth.
But what about the other guys? Saying this could trigger them to transfer.
Austin Mack.
Well, that was the first question I had with this Nico situation was, everybody's talking about, all these starting quarterbacks around the country made money. Well, to me, I think a lot of the backup quarterbacks around the country made money, and some of the young guys as well. Look just at Alabama. Look at Keelan Russell. What happened if Tennessee would have called and said, hey, you want to start a quarterback as a true freshman at Tennessee? You're not going to have to wait behind Ty Simpson. You're not going to have to be third behind Austin Mack, who's in second. I was wondering if there was one of these young up-and-coming players that wasn't going to start this year that Tennessee would have found a way to reach out to and say, why don't you come over here? So I thought it was more about the backups than anything.
Well, I would say this. I think Ty Simpson is the fit that Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer want. I mean, he's a pro-style guy. He kind of, to be honest with you, if I had to come to a comp for Ty Simpson, I would say Matt Corral.
You think he's at
I think he's not a dual threat quarterback, but I do think he can extend plays with his feet. You saw it a little bit in garbage time. I think against Mercer, he has a live arm. He's 6'1", 6'2", 200 pounds. He's not a true runner, but it's something that you do have to respect a little bit if you're in the backfield. They both have live arms. He can absolutely sling the football, but he's a pro-style guy. And you go through the quarterbacks that Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer have. They want a pro-style quarterback, not a Jalen Milroe. So I think Ty Simpson is a great fit for them. He's a 5-star coming out of high school, and he's only gotten better, and he's waited for his time. So I think it's good for Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer to at least have a pretty good idea who their starter will be walking into the season.
Yeah, I was just interested that he came out and said it. But look, I mean, Alabama's going to be good. You know they're with the talent. I know Saban's gone. I'm very interested to see how the offensive line progresses. But Ryan Grubb was the biggest commitment that Kalen DeBoer has gotten at Alabama. I think he's going to make a huge difference, not just from a play calling standpoint, but developing these quarterbacks. He's one of the best in the country at it. Nobody likes being bugged, especially by, well, bugs.
IRS. Oh.
And I'm not talking about like a government entity. Nobody likes being bugged like that either. But when those unwanted visitors do show up, you want them gone fast, right? You want them out of there. That's where Pesty comes in with their do-it-yourself pest control solution. You can protect your home easily and at just a quarter of what you normally pay. I mean, think about it. Other pest control companies charge over $800 per year for basically the same service.
Dang.
But with Pesty, you can get started at just $35 per treatment, man. Ooh. Plus, they create a customized plan specifically for your location, the bugs in your area, and your local climate. But the best part, everything you need comes in one simple kit delivered right to your door. No hassle, no complicated instructions, just effective pest control on your terms. We have one in here. Haven't seen a bug yet. Haven't seen one yet. Plus, Pesty effectively eliminates over 100 types of bugs, from spiders and ants to roaches and scorpions, while remaining completely kid and pet friendly, using only fully registered pesticides that have been safely used in hospitals and schools across the nation. So protect your home from bugs with Pesty. Go to pesty.com/Crain for an extra 10% off your order. That's PESTIE.com/CRAIN for an extra 10% off. Great ad? Got it.
Next up, let's talk about Lane Kiffin, who went on Theo Von's show and was talking about Brian Kelly.
Let's play this.
Well, Brian Kelly, they also put him on that Lazy Susan. Remember when he first came in? It's like, and it's a tough.
I retweeted that.
You what?
I retweeted that. Like
we know,
thing. Yeah, he was with the quarter. It was
Look
terrible.
at that. I thought this was for a strip club, to be honhonest with you. I thought this was for.
Yeah, I think I wrote something like, "Do you actually know they were filming you? Like, did you put this out on purpose? Like you." You know they're going to film you when you're doing this?
I thought this was a gender reveal, and I was like, well, what is it?
Yeah, and it's not like his first one. He did it like the year before. I'm like, do you realize you're like kind of grinding on the dude?
This was also a strip club advertisement near Natchez, Mississippi, I think, as well. No judgment outside of there. I've spent time there, but yeah, maybe Brian Kelly is kind of mysterious. I think also maybe it's just because he's had he coached in the SEC before or not?
No, I don't think so.
And he's a nice guy.
You're like at Notre Dame. Like,
right.
You're at Notre Dame and then you're like LSU.
I know.
I mean,
you went from heaven to.
Yeah, that's just like, that's as big a change as you can have. South Bend to Baton Rouge. Like,
oh, yeah.
And the SEC. And so.
Yeah. So Lane Kiffin gives no Fs at the end of the day. But to me, he's right. Listen, and we got a ton of respect for Brian Kelly and LSU. We have a bunch of LSU fans that watch this show as well, especially during college football season. But this is why, on the sideline, you have a get-back coach, right? You got the guys like, coach, you're too far out in the field. Let me pull you back. Sometimes it's the strength guy. You need that in the office, too. You need a don't post that coach. Somebody that's just going to keep it real with you in the staff meeting. Like, hey, guys, I want to put this out. He's like, coach, listen, you're the head man. You can do what you want to do, but I'm just going to be real with you. You don't need to post.
Be real with them, son.
Be real with them. Like, you don't need to post this.
Do you think that happened? Do you think someone tried that with Brian Kelly in this situation?
No, I think they're horrified of Brian Kelly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think they're horrified.
I'm scared to say anything, so we're just going to let it go.
Like, but you got to have that guy. Like, if you're an older coach that has to do social media, like, I'll be honest with you, like, make fun of Bill Belichick all you want, but that chick's making sure whatever he puts out on social media, like, it's cool with the kids and not cringy or a little bit weird. Because I know Brian Kelly was.
But isn't that that's the cringy part?
See,
her doing all this stuff is the
if she was doing that on a recruit, I'd be fine with it. Hell,
I heard she's calling plays this fall.
Well, that's a different story. We'll see. I mean, he let Matt Patricia be the offense coordinator anyway.
Exactly.
No, but like, I know Brian Kelly, in his heart of hearts, was trying to be cool. Trying to be, what does Dr. Evil say? I'm hip. I'm with it. But at some point, it's like when your kids, have you seen the commercial where the dad's speaking in like the kid's language? And he's like, hey, let me cook or whatever. And they're like, please stop talking like that. Somebody needed to tell Brian Kelly that, because I get what you're trying to do. The execution, though, was just
Brian Kelly and Lane Kiffin hate each other.
Yeah, I think they do.
Like, it feels like there's some hate there.
Did Lane say
It really
because of what
does. Because
happened
I think about
last
this.
year?
I think about this, and in my head, it immediately goes, I wonder what Brian Kelly's reaction to this is. Because at the end of the day, you can sit on whatever podcast you want, talk all the ish you want, but, I mean, who has a better head-to-head overall record?
Yeah.
Who does?
That's Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
So you can sit on a podcast, talk all you want, but I look at that win and loss column, and I got more wins than you do, buddy. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if I'm grinding on dudes or whatever. If Nick Saban grinding on dudes, won 7 national championships, who gives a shit?
How about Saturday, September 27th, boys? LSU
At Ole Miss, right?
at Ole Miss.
Ooh. See, I don't think Lane says that if they're not playing at home this year. If that game's in
See,
Baton Rouge,
I think Lane Kiffin will say anything.
like,
Home,
I just-
away, abroad.
but I really want to start a thing, the get back coach off the field. You need one. You need one. There's some guys that need it bad too when it comes to social media and all that stuff. But very, very interesting times on the Theo Vaughn Show. Hey, YouTube, appreciate you guys hopping on. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so you know when Crain and Company goes to college or locker room talk is dropping.